Welcome back. This is still the AM show, and guess who is here? Well, it is the sweet Christiana Sweetie Abochi, aka Mary Poppins.
Very patriotic this morning.
You should. I wish you could see her feet this morning. She has some, is it Lacoste or so?
Yeah, Lacoste.
On. I guess at some point we'll highlight her sneakers. And we also have a bit of an anklet in there. I'm giving an apt description on black, as the Americans will say, pants. I don't know whether these are palazzo pants. They don't look like it.
They are.
Oh, they are palazzo pants?
They are palazzo pants.
Wow.
Just like you're wearing Jinyame slippers, Jinyame rings, Jinyame, is that a brooch? And you also have, the colors of the nation, red, yellow, green, and black in there. So we are still matching, and we are just being very patriotic citizens this morning. We love Ghana. We come here to do what we do because we love the country. And today, Benjamin said, Jinyame, his blunt thoughts.
Anyway.
His blunt thoughts, Jinyame so no.
All right. Since you're asking, since you're pointing to my blunt thoughts, today I'll be sharing my thoughts on blowing cash in a desperately stifling economy, the elite versus the ordinary man. But I'll bring you the scoop on that later. Right before we get to our guest for today, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic helps us bring you this segment every weekday. And they're offering you, as always, prostate screening for free. Those of you who have been saying prostrate, no, prostrate is a verb, to lie. Prostate screening for free. There's also fertility screening for free if you're a woman, right? And here is where you can reach out to them. Here in Accra, at Spintex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi Kronoma here behind the Angel Educational Complex, the Takra Dianaji State, Tema Community 22, Tichiman Hanswa, and the Siaman Zama. Their call lines 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. But just the start of the news review, and joining us this morning, we have Dr. Richard Amwakoba. He is a political scientist and a man who bears his thoughts, speaks his mind. Doc, good morning.
Good morning.
We're grateful that you've taken the time to join us this morning on the newspaper review on the AM show. I hope you're well.
I'm doing okay, yes.
I know it's early morning and we are waking you up. Now, let me just ask. It's been raining, it's been pouring in Accra from yesterday. In fact, there was a place I had to go to yesterday evening. It made everything delay and all of that. Into this morning. Was it raining in I don't know whether you're in Kumasi currently, but did it rain where you are?
No, it's not raining in Kumasi. It rained 3 days ago, but it wasn't too long.
Oh, I see. And what's the power situation like in Kumasi?
So far, so good. We were in the dark. I think a transformer went out. So it was almost from 6 p.m. to the next day about 3 p.m. before it came on.
Right.
So it was almost 24 hours.
Right. We thank God. Some people still have power outages, but for me, I must confess, for a number of days now, I think throughout this week, apart from, was it the weekend or Monday? I think it was the weekend.
I slept in darkness last night.
You slept in darkness last night?
The lights went off around 4:30 p.m. and it got back around 2 a.m. So yeah.
Okay.
Well,
4:30 p.m. to 2 a.m.
4:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. So not the usual 12 hours, but
it's not a 12 hours. That was about 10 hours,
yeah.
9.5 hours. But I have not had a power outage in maybe 4-5 days. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm happy. What I don't know, though, is whether maybe sometimes when I'm out of home, they do it. That one I don't know. But as of when I get home, there have not been. Doc, so we have a tradition here. We give about a minute and a half for our guests to talk about something eating them up, something burning on their chest. You have a minute and a half to share any thoughts if you have them. If not, we'll go into the papers, please.
Okay, there's something bothering me indeed. I had mentioned on the news at Kuma FM or somewhere like that, that danger coming, danger looming, but nobody seems to pay attention to it. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, World Food Program reiterated what I've been saying, that people will queue for food. Not food to go and cook, but cook food, give me something to eat, and it's coming. And they have said it too. The danger is coming. And yet nobody is talking about it. We are talking about elections instead. The danger is coming. Now this is here. Food prices are going up too high. And that's danger. What is makes them do this? You'll be surprised. The anchor problem is planting. You'll be surprised. And the don't pay attention to little things like planting. They think big is that dam, that's what it's up. No. This little thing here, don't pay attention. You will think about much. When rain and the wind is knocked down just by order, it means just at once have a short period. No planting, so the price is gone up. Fine, the price is gone up. I think that's 5, 10, 20, go back 50. Now, you don't have a specific life and fix yourself. Once in a while, I like to do right things. That one works. You can't find it. You use Kelly, what I'm a planting.
Doc, so here's what we're going to do. We're losing you a bit. I think it may be the weather affecting the network, and the volume was pretty low. We're going to try to remedy that and then try this again. So give us about 30 seconds. Let's try again. If you could maybe reposition yourself as well, that would be good. But interesting angles he is raising there. For you, if I asked you to point to one thing that has caught your interest this week, what would it be?
Cedi depreciation and the DAI effects. I think Doc is still trying to...
yes, Doc, just a second. We'll be right with you. We want to sort out that connectivity to you. The Cedi depreciation.
You know what's interesting, Ben, is that I had never been to Abossey. So going there on Monday or Tuesday or so, I had a really good appreciation of how these inflation, this depreciation of our currency costs so much... Anyway, let's let Doc finish this.
As for the Cedi, when I interacted with Prince Amoabeng, he made mention of the fact that the way we're going, it could hit between 18 and 20 CDs by end of year. No one wants
end of
that.
year is too far, Ben.
No, but there also will be mechanisms from the central bank. There will be other mechanisms to try and contain the pressure. But the question is, around this period when MNCs are getting ready to repatriate what their earnings in dollars is going to put pressure on the economy.
Unfortunately,
we are in an electoral
dollars
year.
Now, the panic is causing most people to say, let's go buy dollars and keep it because when it goes up. But forgetting that the rush is what actually also boosts the increase, the fall of the
So we must all be patriotic.
Yeah.
But we also don't know how many politicians have huge stashes of dollars, euros, and pounds in their houses and how patriotic
unexplained
they are. Yeah.
Amounts of money.
Don't ask about unexplained. It makes no difference in this country. I'm being brutal here.
Yeah.
Kofi Amoabeng said that, and a lot of people supported it. Some took, aim at it. He said that Ghanaians generally are not good people. We are evil. To some extent, he is right. You see someone speaking the truth, other people will try to hack you at the knees. You see someone trying to rise, people will try to bring you down and all of that.
PhD.
So it is what it is. Doc, let's try one more time and I'll let you summarize your thoughts. Can you hear me, Dr.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's a bit faint, but I can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. I was talking about, you are talking right now, you're talking about inflation. But we just like textbook too much textbook. We think some little thing like plantain cannot bring about inflation. Of course it can. The choice, especially in the Ashanti region, is between food is food. If you don't have anything, you eat any food. But there are many people who like to do, especially in the Ashanti region. Some people eat it every day. What do they use? They use plantain. They fry the plantain. They boil the plantain. All sorts of food they do with plantain. So when it's in short supply, what is the alternative? You are looking at plantain at 70 cedis, and you are looking at a bag of rice for 70 cedis. Most people will opt for the rice, even though they don't like to eat it every day, especially the grown-ups. But here's the problem. If you buy the plantain, maximum 2 days is finished. If you buy the rice, you're eating yourself at least 1 week. Which one would you get? So people will opt for rice. And then more people going for rice, the price is going up. The price is going up. That is what I'm talking about. So the plantain shortage is causing rice prices to go up. Other imported food to go up. We don't have our own staple. And why don't we have it? Simply because we don't train the farmers well. Every farmer who plants plantain or banana must have a proper, you know what I'm talking about, some device that can hold the tree so that the tree that has fallen down must be brought up and popped up for it to continue growing. We don't have it. Some people don't know. We leave it to a chance. So when the winds came this time, they knocked even his mercy here and knocked the whole, one guy I know, all his plantains are down. What is he going to do? If he's lucky and prop them out quickly, they will continue to. If he doesn't, then the plantain that is falling down will die and the new one will spring up. But that means the new one has started the whole cycle again. And for the interim, there's no plantain. That is the problem. And if there's no plantain, you go for alternative. Rice or something else. And supply and demand makes the demand very high. The prices go up. And we don't know why inflation is getting higher. Is that little plantain that we didn't pay attention to? That's the problem. Where is our great ministry? Should I be telling this? I said it, 3-4 months ago, that people will be lining up to get food, for help, begging for food to eat. Nothing has been. No, I don't see any program to intervene here. I haven't seen it. Maybe the minister or whoever has been saying it, I haven't heard it. It's very bad. The government is not just for big things, like dams and roads, but this little thing here that you are not paying attention to is bringing about big problems. Now they are talking about inflation without looking at all of these things. You don't know why the thing is going up. I'm pointing out one to you, one little one. It's getting terrible to me. What is their job? What do they do?
Interesting thoughts, Dr. Mwakoba. But here we go. Let's get into some other interesting stories in the newspapers, and we'll take them and put them to you for your thoughts as well.
Well, let's start with the Daily Guide newspaper. On the front page, free SHS brings gender equality, according to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Give more support to media, Freema tells AMC. New arrest in Kasua soldier killing. And corruption more prone in customary land administration. Northern Chiefs hail Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let's start with a story on page 3 of the Daily Guide, which says, jurors strike again over unpaid allowances. And it reads, jurors yesterday declared another indefinite strike over unpaid allowances due them since February last year. The jurors decided to abandon their duty after a promise to have the 10-month allowance arrears paid in May was not fulfilled. A source who spoke to Daily Guide on condition of anonymity said the jurors decided to embark on a strike due to the non-payment of the allowances for February 2023 and from July 2023 to May 2024. This is the first time they're striking this year. But last year, I remember there was a series of strike actions to demand their allowances. But Doc, let me hold on for me. Let me do 2 more stories before we come for your reaction so that we can beats the time. There's a new arrest in the soldier killing in Kaswa. Another suspect has been arrested in connection with the murder of a soldier at Millennium City, Kaswa, in the central region. The suspect, Nana Kofiamo, has been charged with conspiracy to commit murder and was yesterday hauled before court alongside Ben Lord Ababiu, aka Nana Barima Ababiu, a self-acclaimed traditional ruler who allegedly shot and killed the soldier on 30th April 2020. It's good to know that the case is ongoing, investigations are ongoing, and the case has been tried in court so that those culpable can face justice. One last story, and then we will get to that. Okay, let's do this cocoa story. The story is on page 11 of the Daily Guide newspaper. 2 jailed for attempted cocoa beans smuggling. 2 persons, a driver and a teacher, have been handed jail term and fines by the Dumasi Krobo Circuit Court in separate incidents involving attempted smuggling of cocoa beans to neighboring Togo. The latest convictions mark yet another success in the crackdown in activities of syndicates engaged in smuggling of Ghana's cocoa to neighboring countries. The suspects were accosted by the Anti-Cocoa Smuggling Task Force during routine operations last week around Mamewata in the eastern region, whilst attempting to transport smuggled beans to the neighboring country, Togo. Doc, your quick reactions on these 3 stories.
Miss Mary, which one do you want first?
We can start with the jurors striking over unpaid allowances.
Yes. That is unfortunate because these are not people who even want to be known, right? And for them to come out and demonstrate we will not work anymore, this is very sad, really. It tells you, now, no matter how I feel about the government, no government will sit there and allow jurors to go on strike before they do something. That tells you we are in big trouble. There is no money. That is very short of it. That's it. There's no money. Of course, that doesn't mean there's absolutely no money. Depending on what they want, the priorities will come. And for now, I can say the priority does not include Jews. But I have no doubt at all their action will bring about some reaction from the government. Maybe they will not be able to pay them all their money, but to pay part of it and promise to pay the rest later. And that's what they should do. They should be. Why do you sit there and allow these people to go on strike before you do something? Engage them, talk to them. Even if you don't have money, it's not only money. Keep talking to them for them to know that you will start thinking about it. And you sit there for them to go on strike before you do something. It is not good. It's not good at all. You see, the big guys, they got money. They don't know. They think it's like that for everybody. These people make plans with their little money. A little money. And when it doesn't come, it creates havoc for them. This is why they will go on strike. So please, I plead with those who are supposed to take care of this situation, engage them, do something, an emergency measure for them to put their strike down, go back to work, and then engage them small,
right.
Keep paying them as you go along. That's what I've said.
All right. What about the 2 jailed for cocoa? I mean, the state of cocoa in the Ghana now. What are your thoughts on that? The dwindling quality, cocoa board being not credit worthy and all that. What are your thoughts on the state of Ghana's cocoa today?
We clearly are on the wrong path. If it continues this way, it's just a matter of time before the whole industry collapses. Don't forget that this has been the industry that has sustained the government from independence when we had nothing but that cocoa. Now, look where we are. Look at cocoa board, not credit worthy. How? I was saying long ago, how is it possible that this company can borrow money every year to buy cocoa? Why? At some point, you have to say, no, I have to have my own money to buy the cocoa from the farmers. Or you can arrange with those who buy the cocoa from us overseas, give us an advance so that we will supply you the cocoa. Why not? Why do you go and borrow money, syndicated loan every year, pay interest on it, and then give money to expatriate companies that buy cocoa too? Why? I don't understand. This is what they are doing. And we are in trouble. And if it continues this way, the whole thing will shut down.
Right.
The farmers are willing to let the Galamsey people use their land instead of cocoa cultivation. That's how bad it is.
Thank you, Doc. Ben, what papers do you... I mean, I'm glad that at least every week we see stories about people who attempt to smuggle cocoa being apprehended and, you know, brought to justice. So if this doesn't even solve the problem, at least it deters those who try to, you know, shortchange the country by trying to smuggle cocoa out of the country. But let's get into it.
Well, speaking of cocoa, when you look at the Daily Graphic newspaper, your Ghana, my Ghana, innovate to boost cocoa consumption, chocolate producer advocates. When, you know, production is falling, I don't know, but that's a good call. Stakeholders in the local cocoa value chain have been urged to innovate to help Ghanaians develop a taste for the commodity. The founder of Bioko Treats Limited, Jean Donko, said local consumption of cocoa and chocolate was vital not only as a means to increase production or to better its quality, but also to secure cocoa production in Ghana's future. She made the call last Wednesday during an interview on the Your Ghana, My Ghana program hosted by Dede Amano Wilkes on Graphic Online's YouTube platform. And there's all this talk. Interestingly, yesterday, someone gifted me with some, Toblerone chocolate. It's made from outside the country and all of that. Tasted good. Dark chocolate, right? It's actually very good for our health, but how much are we producing here? How are we even able to sustain it? You look at the promise some time back about serving children hot chocolate every day or giving them some chocolate every day. What happened to that initiative? While you must maintain, control the sugar levels, obesity and everything, chocolate is actually very good. It's good for your heart. It's good for so many things within the body. Recently, I heard the Cocoa Board boss, Joseph Baidu, also highlighting some of these, that if we took more of it, we probably wouldn't be going to the hospital as many times as we are. But the truth is, the ordinary Ghanaian cannot afford a bar of chocolate. The ordinary, average Ghanaian. How much is it? What's the minimum wage? You're going to spend your entire day's earnings on chocolate. So those are some of the things in there. I agree with this call, let's innovate, but the innovation starts from the farm. People are still using a cutlass to break the pot. Now get to for a country like ours, after how many decades of cocoa farming? Doc, do you have any thoughts on this matter?
Well, yes, you're right, completely right. If the cocoa price, the chocolate price is too high, you can't buy it. Most Ghanaians would like to eat chocolate from time to time. That is true. As you said, how much does it take to use that animal just for food? What is he going to eat at home? And so, many Ghanaians have never tasted chocolate before. Farmers people have never tasted chocolate because they can't buy. They can't afford it. That's the truth. It is very. We have. Look, we used to have a 1% in the whole. Right now, making chocolate and chocolate stabilization. You never know. Someone will come up with some recipe that then cocoa in it. We don't do anything. You know, we don't sustain that growing cocoa. This year, last going cocoa. Can you imagine?
Doc, so interesting points you're making, but again, I think because of the networks, your line keeps breaking. We've heard what you've said so far, but if you could just reposition yourself. I'm sorry we're making you do this, but we can't hear what you're saying clearly. So maybe if you could just move to another location and let's try. Just move a little where you are. Maybe the connection would be better. Can you do that for us, Doc?
Yes, I'm walking as you were speaking.
Okay, all right. Did you say you were walking? You are moving?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's better now. Please go ahead.
Okay. All right. I was lamenting about the state of the whole industry. Right? The farmers are giving their farms to people who are doing galamsey, an illegal activity, because they say they get more money doing that than farming. You know, how did we get to this state? The crop that has sustained the country from independence and beyond. Now, It's nothing. Nothing. We are importing cocoa from Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire in order to be able to fill our overseas buyers' demand. And even then, we are producing some certain things here, cocoa powder and things like that. If we don't import cocoa from these two countries, we can't meet it. That's how sorry we have come to be. It's very, very sad. Not acceptable at all. And yet, we don't talk about it. We talk about electoral commission. How we win the election? The people using shenanigans to win. That is all we care about. How we win. And the famine is coming. Hunger is coming. We should be
you say
alarmed.
famine is coming. Hunger is coming.
Yes, it's coming. It's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's coming because the inflation rate is too high. People cannot buy the food. How good is the food when you can't buy it? And so you wait and see. You see crime going up again. No doubt at all. If you are hungry, you become a thief. Not because you are a thief, but you don't have a choice. You have to eat. Only a fool will sit there and starve to death when somebody has some money. Go and get it. That's how it works.
Well, that must be pretty desperate. They say opportunity makes the thief. But let me just get to a few more stories, some headlines. Be accurate information dissemination ambassadors, Chief of Staff urges African media. Integrity in the practice of journalism is key to promoting a healthy information ecosystem, the Chief of Staff, Akosua Fremose Opare, has said. Quoting her, she says, the press, which is considered as the fourth estate of the realm, constitutes a segment of society that has an indirect but influential role in political systems under democracies, she said. But I've come to realize something, Doc, and before I just take some other headlines and look at the story, I've come to realize that there is people's truth, and then there is the actual truth. There is the truth of the MPP foot soldier. There is the truth of the NDC foot soldier. There is the truth of other people who want to become president today, young people who claim they are something, right? And I do not denigrate them, but some of them, honestly, it's jocular for me. And then there is the truth as it is. And now there are so many different truths which are lies that it's difficult. Yesterday, when my interview with Captain Prince Kofi Amoabeng retired was played on YouTube, it's garnered quite a number of views. If you've not seen it, you can check it out. I noticed someone lamenting and what he said and all of that, and why I even interviewed him. And it just hit me that people can't take the truth. Some people can't. The truth back then is not the truth today. And the truth today, who knows what it will be. It's just something I've been thinking about. Maybe you should think about it. What is your truth? Are you looking at it dispassionately, or are you looking at it in a skewed way because it is ofrimi ha, ofrimi krom, oye aigbeni, oye akeni, oye inkremoni, oye Christian, oye say, or maybe that person pays for something for you, so your truth lies with that person. You should think about that. But that is what the Chief of Staff says. And I'll end with this. 5 CSOs to drag government to court over breach of biodiversity laws. I support this. Daro Bosu is a deputy director of Arosha, Ghana. And 5 civil society organizations have served notice to proceed to court next week if the government does not annul its contracts with some companies to log and mine in globally significant biodiversity areas in the country. Of particular concern, they said, was the recent declassification of GSBAs within some forest reserves, including the Subri River Forest Reserve and Kokosua Hills Forest Reserve, and the subsequent award of timber utilization contract to some logging companies. Recently, we had a cocoa farmer also join us in the studio talking about mining in Etiwa, the Etiwa forest. I support what they are doing. I know likely it may amount to nothing looking at how some of these have gone in the past, but at least we would have shown what we feel, how we feel. Quick reflections. I am done from my end, Dr. Richard Amwakoba. Quick thoughts?
All the issues are important. Where do I start from? Let's start on the first one. Please remind me a little bit what you said about the first one.
So be accurate information dissemination ambassadors. That's the chief of staff. And I was talking about how in Ghana there are so many different truths. There is only one truth, but everybody has his truth or her truth.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, there cannot be two truths. Truth is only one. It may be skewed a bit when you look at it, but still the main elements are there. But then in Ghana, opposite can be called truth. Opposite. Just as long as you're talking about the same thing, you can claim that this is my truth. You don't have your truth, and I don't have my truth. The truth is the truth does not belong to me. I may massage it a little bit, but I can't get away from the main elements of the truth. But we don't know that. We still want what we want. You can pay someone, some rascal will come and say outrageous things. He knows it's not true, but as long as he gets some money, he stays. So it seems the country has gotten so desperate that people are willing to sell their mothers for chop money, really. Because where he gets the chop money from is where his mouth is. So it's not a shame. There's no shame. Just say it. Just say it. If you keep talking about it, eventually they will accept it. Or eventually it will go away. This is how we are. And so we get rascals to say whatever they want.
Right. Well, we have come to the end of the news review. If you have any final thoughts to share with us briefly before we go, Doc, this would be your last word. Any thoughts?
Well, we should pay attention. We should not leave everything to the government. Right now, it has become obvious that they are in trouble. They don't know what they are doing. This is not a criticism of the government. This is the fact. They can't do it. They are not able to do it. There is no money. It's getting worse. So we shouldn't only look to the government. Do what you can do to help. Sometimes that's what we have to do. It's our case. It's not the government's country. It's ours. So if you do something or want the political side to do something.
Apt call, and it's something I say all the time. Do what you can in your corner, brighten it, and together we can do better. Because relying on government alone is like this message that comes from Sisi Kole, who says, our country lacks political leaders who speak truthfully, and if nothing is done to change our country, then we are doomed for eternity. Where there is a paucity of truth, there's also chaos. But thank you. That is Dr. Richard Amwakoban. He is a political scientist and a man who speaks his mind. He joined us for the news review. Right before we go, sweetie, any thoughts?
Hunger is coming.
I hope not. I hope not. That's
famine is coming.
He says famine is coming, hunger
is coming. Yeah.
Dr. Richard Amwakoban. Blowing cash in a desperately stifling economy. The elite versus the ordinary man. That will be the title of my blunt thoughts for today. But let me also quickly celebrate Abigail Jemfi. Tomorrow is your birthday, Mama. Should I say Mama too? And Nelly will explain why I'm saying Mama too. But happy birthday to you, Mommy. God richly bless you. You've been so lovely to me, and I am very grateful from the bottom of my heart. Happy birthday to you, and God bless you in everything you do. This segment always brought to you by Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, and they are offering you free prostate screening if you're a man, free fertility screening if you are a woman. All you can do, well, reach out to them at any of their branches across Pentex opposite the Shell signboard, Kumasi Kronumabwe here, behind the Angel Educational Complex. There's Takradi Anaji State, Tema Community 22, Tichiman Hanswa, and Esiaman Zema. You can call them on 0244 867 068 or 0274 234 321. Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, the end to chronic disease. And let me just say, Mama Abigail, tomorrow is your birthday, but I'm celebrating you today because I'll not be on air. Likely on Monday, I will repeat this. But let's settle for sports up next Tuesday.
Daddy,